And now, Knock 2 Studios presents Common Censored.
Trump 2024. Trump 2024. Trump, hey, Trump, hey, Trump, hey, Trump, hey, Trump 2024.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Common Censored. Oh, the lefties are mad about that one, guys. Trump 2024, pissing all on the hoe. They got Uncle Sam giving Kamala a nice, warm, golden shower, her favorite type of shower, and they're not happy about this. Look at this loser over here. MAGA Halloween, Uncle Sam standing in front of a Trump Vance flag and urinating on a figure of Kamala Mamala Heels Up Harris wearing a t-shirt with a Ukraine flag, a Pukraine flag on it. MAGA's less than simple and disgusting. Fellas, do your job, my friends. What does that mean? What does that mean? Do your job. Are you inciting something, you loser? Mario? It's me, Mario. Anyway, thanks for being here, all of you censored commoners. This is episode 264, and I'm Lord Sterling. All kinds of crazy stuff to talk about as usual today. Trump saying it could be possible to get rid of the federal income tax. Report from Info General Jones that Joe Rogan, not Seth Rogen, Joe Rogan is interviewing Trump on Friday as Kamala seems to be backing out. What did we tell you? There's no way she could sit down for 3 hours unscripted with Jamie pulling up all the evidence contradicting all of her lies. There's no way. All kinds of additional stuff to talk about as well. Texas investigation into Act Blue reveals illegal funding. The Center for Countering Disinformation and Hate. It's been revealed their primary objective is to kill Musk's Twitter by targeting advertisers. We also have evidence of Dominion rigging ballot counts. Say it ain't so. I can't believe that would be even possible. Another bombshell coming from the New York Supreme Court as they ordered New York City employees fired over the jib jab to be reinstated with back pay. And a crazy quote that we'll get into about the efficacy of the jib jab when it comes to contracting and spreading the coof. So you guys can look forward to that. Some positive news coming out of New York for once. Make sure to join us Monday through Friday as we cover all the crazy clown world clusterfuck chaos. A colossal cornucopia, you could say. A calamitous cacophony. There we go. Lots of C's, lots of double C's for Common Censored. Make sure to use hashtag Common Censored and hashtag InfoInfantry when you share the broadcast. You can find us on X at Lord Sterling _. We're also on Truth, Getter, Gab, Minds, etc. Variations of at Common Censored and at _ Common Censored. Thanks to all of our new followers over on Rumble. Appreciate you guys. Big ups to each and every one of you. Links to all the stories, articles, content, videos we covered today will be posted down in the video description on Rumble immediately following the broadcast. So if you're watching this later on and you don't want to sit through 3 hours of a rambling lunatic, click down in the show more, skim through the topics we cover, and Mama Mac will be adding timestamps throughout the broadcast so you can jump right to the point in the podcast where we talk about the things that are interesting to you. That's right. Thanks, Mama Mac. You're the best. And throw Mama Mac some love by heading over to alplama.com, your new herbal health guru. Pick up some natural tinctures so you can avoid the petrochemical pharmaceutical industry that wants you sick and dependent. And if you want to support the show directly, you can head on over to our link tree at Common Censored. This week, we're celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the founding of this broadcast last October 21st, I think it was. So thanks for being here for the 1-year anniversary. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. Disclaimer. Views expressed on Common Censored are only opinions. Assume everything we say is false and research for yourself. We're not giving medical, legal, or financial advice. The only advice we are giving is think for yourself. Question authority. Think for yourself. Question authority. Booyaka! All right, let's jump into the news for today. We're going to hop over to Info General Jones to start the show. At Real Alex Jones posting, the Democrat-run DOJ will probably give a good citizenship award to Act Blue and indict Paxton, which is the exact opposite of what should happen in light of these new developments. Attorney General Ken Paxton of Texas at Ken Paxton TX posting this: breaking. Our investigation into Act Blue has uncovered facts indicating that bad actors can illegally interfere in American elections by disguising political donations. We've seen it happening as James O'Keefe has gone around the country asking people, hey, did you make 20,000 donations to Act Blue over the span of 15 months? And everybody's like, what? No, I didn't do that. They're laundering money through Act Blue, allegedly. Quote, it is imperative that the FEC close off the avenues we have identified by which foreign contributors or contributions in excess of legal limits could be unlawfully funneled to political campaigns. That's right. You're only allowed, like, what is it? $2,700, something like that. I don't know. I never have that much money, so I can't donate to the limit. But it's totally fine for foreigners to launder massive sums through Act Blue, bypassing campaign finance regulations and compromising our electoral system. I'm calling on the FEC to immediately begin rulemaking to secure our elections from any criminal actors exploiting these vulnerabilities. Let's check it out. October 21st, yesterday, press release. Investigation into Act Blue by Attorney General Ken Paxton uncovers large number of suspicious donations made through obscured identities and untraceable means. OAG demands FEC action. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton sent a petition for rulemaking to the Federal Election Commission, detailing how suspicious actors appear to be using Act Blue's political fundraising platform to make a large number of straw political donations. It can't possibly be true, guys. We can trust Act Blue, right? They would never do something like this, those dirty Dems. They're little angels. In December 2023, Attorney General Paxton opened an investigation into Act Blue to determine whether the platform's operations were compliant with all applicable laws. Wow, it's already been over almost a year since then? That's insane. In August 2024, Attorney General Paxton announced that due to the investigation, Act Blue began requiring donors using credit cards to provide CCV codes, the common security measure. But this is not a full solution to the problems that Attorney General Paxton's team has identified on Act Blue. Namely, it appears that straw donations are systematically being made using false identities through untraceable payment methods. Oh, so the CCV codes was just a cover, man, to make it look like they're doing something when they're not, huh? Today, Attorney General Paxton transmitted partially redacted findings to the FEC through a petition for rulemaking. The petition recommends regulations that would close fundraising loopholes that jeopardize American election integrity. FEC previously considered rules on the loopholes that the Attorney General has found here, but Act Blue was a vocal opponent of such rules, of course, because they want to rig. That opposition is no longer tenable in light of the Attorney General's findings. If not corrected by the FEC, bad actors can, with trivial ease, illegally funnel foreign money into American elections, exceed political contribution limits, and more. Quote, our investigation into Act Blue has uncovered facts indicating that bad actors can illegally interfere in American elections by disguising political donations. It is imperative that the FEC close off avenues we've identified by which foreign contributions or contributions in excess of legal limits could unlawfully be funneled to political campaigns. bypassing campaign finance regulations and compromising our electoral system, said Attorney General Paxton. I'm calling on the FEC to immediately begin rulemaking to secure our elections from any criminal actors exploiting these vulnerabilities. What do you guys think? Anything going to happen about it? Probably not. Oh, man, brutal. Health Ranger Mike Adams commenting, very important finding. So what can be done to stop it? Because it looks like it's just continuing to happen in plain view, and nobody's stopping it. Massive Democrat money laundering operation. Basically proven definitively by James O'Keefe and the undercover, or not necessarily undercover, but the interviews that he's done with the people who are supposedly making these tens of thousands of donations. Be Hizzy covering it as well, talking about how Paxton has uncovered bombshell evidence confirming that illegal funds are currently being laundered to Democrat campaigns using Act Blue. His findings have been sent to the FEC. This confirms everything Election Watch's Peter Berniger has been, don't clip me with the second half of that word. Don't clip me and use that against me. Everything that Peter B has been exposing for years. Democrats aren't just rigging elections in the traditional sense, they're also pumping dark funds into their campaigns to outspend Republicans. Berniger has shown that this, quote, smurfing, unquote, scheme totals hundreds of millions of dollars every election cycle in all 50 states. Rest assured, they will continue the corruption. Conclusion? Democrats are using identities of unsuspecting elderly people to launder money into the campaigns, and the most important attorney general in the country just confirmed it to the FEC. This is massive. But probably nothing's going to get done, unfortunately. So we talked yesterday about leaked docs from Telegram that allegedly show Israel's plans to attack Iran. Alex Jones posting over here, pray we don't wake up dead in a nuclear war. Well, if you're dead, you won't wake up at all. But I get the point. Info General Jones, salute. Retired, reposting open source intel at OSINT 613. Retired IDF Brigadier General Amir Avivi told ABC News that Israel's upcoming strike on Iran will signal the, quote, start of a war, unquote, expected to last, quote, many months. So that sucks. That sucks. Brutal stuff. Hopefully we don't wake up dead, guys. Hopefully we don't wake up dead. Another one from Jones. This is why the Chinese president told his military forces to prepare for all-out war. Talk about an October surprise. World War III would be a pretty hardcore October surprise. Reposting BRICS News at BRICS Info. BRICS. Just in, Israel says a, quote, very significant attack will be carried out on Iran soon. So we can all look forward to that, I guess. Insane. Perry Cross posting, Iran should launch a defensive first strike, as Israel often does. Why wait? At the very minimum, launch a counterattack when planes are in the air. Israel shows no mercy. None should be extended to them. Remember the USS Liberty, 9/11, Gaza, Syria, Lebanon, Yemen, and JFK. It's a precarious situation. No doubt. Let's hop over to Dr. Ron Paul next, who posted a little clip, his weekly roundup, asking the very pertinent question at Ron Paul on X, why should we fight wars for Ukraine and Israel? Why? They're taking our money. They're funding Ukraine that's not even an ally. We didn't sign on to the Minsk Accords. We didn't sign the Budapest Memorandum. They're not even an ally. And they're taking our money and giving it to them for a war that we started with a coup and then, had the Ukraine bombing the Donbass region with ethnic Russians. Very similar to other events in history.
Thank you for tuning in to the Weekly Report. Why should we fight wars for Ukraine and Israel? When you take on the role of the world's policeman, don't be surprised when the countries who cannot fight their own wars calls 911. That is exactly what is happening to the United States on two fronts, and it is bankrupting our country, depleting the military that should serve our own national interests, and threatening to drag the U.S. into World War III. Last week, Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky publicly presented his victory plan. It was delusional. Immediate NATO membership for Ukraine, NATO strikes against incoming Russian missiles, and permission to use Western long-range missiles for strikes deep into Russia, including Moscow and St. Petersburg. The real intent was not hard to understand. Ukraine is on the verge of losing its war with Russia and is desperate to draw the United States military into the fight. There were numerous opportunities to avoid this bloody war, but at every step, the Ukrainian leadership listened to Western neocons like Boris Johnson and decided to keep fighting Russia down to the last Ukrainian. But now that they are nearly down to the last Ukrainian, they are calling on us to step in and fight the country with the most nuclear weapons on earth, Russia, in a battle that could not be more unrelated to our actual interests. Washington's answer should be simply but firm. No more weapons, no more money, you're on your own, make peace. Would the U.S. be mortally wounded if the people in eastern Ukraine were allowed to secede from Kiev and join Russia? Would anyone except the Russian-obsessed neocons in D.C. think tanks even notice? Likewise with Israel. Tel Aviv has, in response to the October 7th, 2023 Hamas attack, launched a war to annihilate Palestinians from Gaza, invade and occupy southern Lebanon, and degrade the military of Iraq and Syria and take on Iran. But the Israeli military has nowhere near the capacity to fight so many wars on so many fronts, so it has increasingly demanded U.S. involvement in the conflicts. Already, the U.S. has provided some $23 billion in additional military aid to Israel and has employed U.S. military assets in the region to shoot down missiles and provide increased weapons and intelligence. But it's still not enough for Israel. To fight Iran with its significant military capabilities, Israel appears desperate to drag the U.S. military into the battle. The stationing of one or perhaps two THAAD air defense systems, each with 100 U.S. troops to operate them, is part of that effort. These 100 to 200 U.S. troops are illegally engaged in combat. But what's worse is that they are being used as a tripwire. U.S. and Israeli leaders understand that they will be considered legitimate targets for any additional Iranian missile attack. But as soon as American troops start getting killed in Israel, there will be a massive push for further U.S. involvement. Imagine the mainstream media war propaganda if such a terrible thing happens. That is no way to use members of the U.S. Armed Services. It is the opposite of supporting our troops. Washington's response to Israel trying to drag us into its war with Iran should be just like with Ukraine. No more weapons, no more money. You're on your own. Make peace. That is what a pro-American foreign policy looks like. Our founders understood it very well and wrote about it often. It's called non-intervention.
Right, and they try to twist it and claim it's isolationism. No, you're slandering. You know what you're doing. You're changing what it is. It's non-interventionism. Isolationists don't want trade, travel, and friendship with all countries and bilateral agreements. No, they would want to be shut off completely. We just don't want to fund foreign wars and get involved with intervening in all kinds of countries with the CIA, executing coups like 2014 Ukraine, etc.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Dr. Paul. Well said, Dr. Paul. I salute you. Let's jump over to our next topic. Mama Mac just posted this one in chat. George at BHizzy Tweets posted this one. Want proof that God is with Trump? Literal witches are complaining on Reddit that they're trying to launch demonic attacks against Trump, but, quote, he seems to have some kind of protection around him. Trump is even winning against witches. 1,000 may fall at your side and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Only with your eyes shall you look and see the reward of the wicked. Psalm 91, 7-8. God is using Trump to set the world straight. Only Christians with a sanctimonious attitude refuse to understand this. God doesn't choose the qualified. He chooses the chosen. So we have an image of these witches versus the patriarchy over here. Feel my cocoa beats. Posting, it's a little bit old, 90 days old, this screenshot says. Some other witches have mentioned doing spells directly against Trump. with 2 R's, idiot, are not as effective as we might hope, as he seems to have some kind of protection around him. Hilarious. Hilarious. Even the witches have no effect. I love this picture of Trump too. Classic. You remember this when he got off Marine One, walking back into the White House, all disheveled and everything. Great picture. How about this? This one is crazy, guys. We're getting into some real crazy stuff now. Mike Benz at Mike Benz Cyber saying this is a major, major scandal. Reposting Kanakoa the Great at Kanakoa the Great on X. Breaking. Leaked documents from the Center for Countering Digital Hate reveal their primary goal is to kill Musk's Twitter by targeting advertising and leveraging EU regulations. The British nonprofit organization hosted a private meeting with liberal groups opposing Musk's free speech platform, including representatives from the Biden White House, Rep. Adam Schiff's office, pencil neck watermelon head himself, the Biden-Harris State Department, and Media Matters for America. The usual suspects. All of them. Oh, man. Look at this. We got month priorities, nothing. Annual priorities. Kill Musk's Twitter. Advertising focus. So they are trying to harass advertisers to prevent X from being able to succeed. Exactly what Elon Musk is talking about lately, and I think he's launching lawsuits over it against GARM and everything. This is exactly what he was talking about. Everybody's like, no, they're not doing that. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. U.S. policy engagement set up meetings with Klobuchar's team to seek, quote, / press release endorsement. So they are working with the U.S. government, allegedly, to take out Twitter's advertisers. It's super insane. Exclusive documents. Working with Matt Taibbi, we report on the CCDH documents showing the Labour Party's political front's objectives is, quote, kill Musk's Twitter through, quote, advertising focus, meaning harass his advertisers. Remember what Musk said? Go fuck yourself. Bob, you listening? Internal documents included over here, but let's look through some of the comments because there's some really good ones. Election exclusive, real quick. After this, British advisors to Kamala Harris hope to kill Musk's Twitter. This is insane. England, not Russia, is the culprit in a real foreign election interference story as the leaked stateside plans of an advisory group with close ties to Prime Minister Keir Starmer show. Insane. Ooh, another thread about this, about dark money, sources funding the Center for Countering Digital Hate, CCDH, all kinds of crazy stuff. Oh, man. I'm sure that's a really good thread. Western Lensman, these are the same people that call Trump a fascist who will try to shut down media outlets he doesn't like, as they do it themselves. Typical straight-up Karl Marx tactic. Accuse the enemy of what you are doing. Throughout history, the people calling for censorship are always the bad guys. Kamala, Tampon Tim, John Kerry, Hillary Clinton, and Hussein Obama openly call for more media censorship. At least they're saying it out loud and writing it down before the election, says Ryan Selkis. Democrats and the government are so evil that most Americans just can't wrap their minds around this. Yeah, it's true. It's pure evil. It's pure evil. Pure 100%.
100% evil.
Evil. 100% evil, no doubt about it. Yeah. How you really know that they're evil is they've aligned themselves with Dick Cheney, Darth Cheney himself, Mr. Iraq War Patriot. It's amazing. They go years talking shit about this dude, and then they're bragging that he's supporting them. If like one of the most evil dudes on the planet is now supporting you, maybe you changed. Maybe you're bad now. You know, Hans, are we the baddies? Yep. Free speech is dangerous unless liberals control it. Then it's totally fine. Let's see. I found some good comments that I saved over here, like this one. Tortious interference. Musk is going to win his lawsuit. This is egregious political targeting by the state and private individuals and groups. Yeah, it's called fascism. When the state and private organizations work together to manipulate and control and dominate economies and people. That's fascism. Mussolini's definition, the merger of corporations and state. How about this one? This is a good one. Voltaire's Looking Glass posted this at Drake Barron. Center for Countering Digital Hate. A real example of an Orwellian nightmare come true. Unapproved opinions equals thought crime. Yep, sounds about right. Thought police. Thought police. Pretty solid meme over here. Like that one. And then this one by Mr. Miggy at Miguel Nuan. How much time and money have they spent killing Twitter so far? They can't win the battle of best ideas, so they focus on censoring them. Disgusting. Yeah, that's really disgusting. Who cares about Uncle Sam taking a pee all over Heels Up Harris in a Halloween display? That's funny. This is disgusting. This actually affects billions of people as the fascists try to shut down free speech globally. This is insane. We need to start treating tyrants the way demon rats treat MAGA. Yeah, that's right. Seriously. It's time to start pointing and shaming them publicly and arresting them. These people are criminals. Arrest criminals. Like, it's not that complicated. There's tons of evidence on all these people, guaranteed. Just arrest them. Arrest them. Let's check out what Joe Biden's up to. Jumping the shark over here, saying the quiet part out loud. Look at this. Charlie Kirk posted this moments ago. Breaking. 14 days before the presidential election, Joe Biden calls for the incarceration of Donald Trump. Quote, "We got to lock him up." This is the tell as to why the Democrat machine has been feverishly working to imprison Trump. It's all being intentional. That's right. They're the ones persecuting political enemies. When Trump goes through and arrests all these people after winning, it's because they're criminals. It's not because they're political opposition. It's because they're criminals. Listen to Joe here.
He is talking about doing away with the entire Department of Education. He's talking, he means it. This is not a joke.
Yeah, good. Get rid of it. It's crap.
This is the guy who also wants to replace every civil servant. Every single one. Thinks
Civil servant, not fascist, tyrant, scumbag, deep state operatives.
he has a right under the Supreme Court ruling on immunity to be able, if need be, if it was the case, to actually physically eliminate, shoot, kill someone who he believes to be a threat to him. I mean, so I know this sounds bizarre. It sounds like if I said this 5 years ago, you'd lock me up. We gotta lock him up.
Oh, wow. Just straight up saying it, huh? Fuck you. Fuck you, Joe.
5 years ago, you'd lock me up. We gotta lock him up. Politically lock him up.
Oh, politically, yeah. Sure, Joe. Sure, you scumbag. What's up to everybody over in the chat? Donna, Mama Mac, Tri-Stater Crazy, B. Ed, Hoskins, Threeper. What's going on, guys? Hope you're all having a kick-ass day. Getting McGrine, I see it over there too. JJRSVL. What's going on? Braden McGrine. Good to see you. Good to see all of you. Let's see what we got next over here. All right, let's look at the comments actually real quick first. Paratrooper Brady saying this is seriously disgusting. This is a psyop. They throw the idea in people's heads, so when he wins in November, they throw him in jail after. Is this why they don't let him or Kamala talk? It seems like they mess up every time they speak. Yeah, seems about right. These people are insane, dude. And say he's gonna go after and persecute political enemies. We gotta lock him up. Like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Yeah, Joe Frey, 2008. What up, Joe? I think about 11 people clapped. He says, yeah, for real, dude. We are across the Rubicon at this point. E at CCP Skip Tracer. Fucking disgusting. Let's hope the Trump DOJ prosecutes the entire filthy Biden crime family. And if they're found guilty, lock them up. That's right. Due process. And then we have all kinds of fun stuff for after the due process. Spikes, wood chippers, ropes, volcanoes. maybe even rockets to the sun. If Elon is really on our side, we'll find out. Oh, yeah, Vince Langman. But Trump wants to weaponize the DOJ. Sure. Look at this. I saw this. I didn't get to watch all of it. Another update from Project Constitution Squirrel Tribe on YouTube talking about the Tampon Tim Walz sexual allegations. I'm going to grab this link and add it to the show notes so you guys can check it out later if you want. But we're not going to focus on that right now. We're going to keep moving and jump over to our next topic. Jones saying if you don't vote for Trump, you might as well be voting for Satan. Yep. Look at this. Remember that prophet a year or two ago predicted that Trump would be shot in the ear and then he would get he would have like a transition to a faith-based position and everything. Look at this. Benny Johnson posting this video of Trump go in that direction. Take a look.
So I'm here tonight to deliver a simple message to Christians across America. It's time to stand up and save your country.
Fight! Fight! Nice, getting those gummies. Gotta love some gummies.
Thank you very much. On November 5th, Christian voters need to turn out in the largest numbers ever. Do you know that if you did that, because you have a reputation of not voting proportionately like you should, you do know that. I think that maybe is a form of rebellion. Could that be possible?
Because there's been no worthy candidates.
The two groups, not to equate them, but they are probably associated in some form. But Christians, evangelicals, but Christians and gun owners. Gun owners don't vote. They vote, but very small proportions. If they did, or if Christians did, nobody could ever beat us. Nobody. So I hope that we're going to get numbers like we haven't seen. You remember, this is your last day. Today is your last day of registration.
Sean, that's right, brother.
And so if you want to leave right now, go and leave. I won't be insulted.
Go vote. Anderson Inc. in the house. Too big to rig. That's right, brother. That's what we need. If you guys need tattoos in Connecticut, hit up Anderson Inc. My boy Sean will take good care of you. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for being here, man.
Leave right now and go and register, but this is your last day, so we need to tell Kamala Harris that we've had enough. Kamala, you've been the worst vice president. You're a member of the worst administration in the history of our country. The happiest person around is Jimmy Carter, because Jimmy Carter is considered a brilliant president by comparison to crooked Joe Biden. Jimmy Carter is brilliant.
Thanks,
his administration will go down as a brilliant administration compared to crooked Joe. But we're going to say, Kamala, you've done a horrible job. You're a horrible vice president. There's no way you're going to be our president. Kamala, you're fired. Get out.
You're fired. Yeah, that's what I want to hear. I can't wait till he can say that for real. Oh man, how about this? Let's check out this event. Jones saying massive Trump win incoming. Massive Trump win incoming. Look at this. Benny Johnson posted this. Trump event next to a Kamala event at the University of Georgia. Look what happens. Holy smokes, we're gonna win. Hopefully. We can't get complacent though, guys. Don't take it for granted. Redouble all your efforts. I'm putting out 3 videos a day now, as well as the main live stream. It clips from them at least. But but you got to redouble the efforts. We got to get everybody voting. Look at this puny showing over here for Kamala Mamala, and then look what the Trump crowd looks like. Wow. Little bit of a difference there, as there's nobody anywhere near the Harris table. Just empty space everywhere. And then across over there, a massive crowd for Donald J. Trump, a microcosm of all of the events across the nation. All the campaign rallies, this is a microcosm showing perfectly the ratio. Nobody for Kamala, everybody for Trump. Nobody for Kamala, everybody for Trump. You cannot deny that Trump is just dominating at this point. So yeah, Sean Anderson Inc., hopefully it is too big to rig, but they're setting the stage now already, as we've been covering. Don't expect election results on night one, guys. It's going to take 4 or 5 days for us to count all the illegal ballots to switch the vote. These people are evil. They're evil. Oh, man. Let's jump over to the next one. Rasmussen reports at Rasmussen_poll. All of a sudden, these guys are like super based. This is nuts. A majority, 55% of Democrats think the cheat is coming. That's right. Even the demon rats know they're cheating scum. Even the demon rats. And they're joined by 58% of independents and 83% of Republicans. I'm surprised only 58% of independents are, awake enough to be able to see that. We have been featuring these issues since the 2020 selection, so they should be no surprise to anyone. Selection, Rasmussen, damn, I didn't know they were based like this. Please consider sharing. Yeah, we're sharing it on the show. How concerned are you that the outcome of the 2024 presidential election will be affected by cheating? Republicans tallying it up 80-something percent. Even the Democrats up to 55. Independents, similar range over there. But overall, about 2/3 of the people know that this is going to be rigged. Mark Mitchell, Rasmussen reports saying this more than anything makes me think the fix is in. As we saw the head of Fox News decision desk, Arnon Mishkin, foreseeing around a 4-day delay for the presidential election results. Don't think about it. Don't worry about the vote counters behind the curtain. Just relax. We'll do it honestly. We wouldn't lie to you. Never. How about this one? Real Robert at real_Rob N posting this one. And here it is. The real surprise came when she realized there was not a single fucking vote cast in her own precinct. Irrefutable evidence Dominion rigging systems is rigging elections across the United States. Ruh-roh, you can't say that without being sued. Real Rob N, you better be careful. Hand count confirms beyond the shadow of a doubt. 2,820 more votes than the Dominion rigging systems reported, meaning A, a candidate in Georgia who appeared to get few election day votes was actually in first place. B, arrest the most corrupt judge in the state of Georgia, Robert McBurney, at once. Remember this absolute unmitigated scumbag who needs to be debenched, blocking all of the state election board's efforts to make sure the vote is legit. Robert McBurney, I agree, needs to be arrested. This is insane. Let's check out this clip breaking it down. First, we'll look at the headline. A candidate in Georgia who appeared to get few election day votes was actually in first place. Georgia, nonetheless. The discrepancy in a race for county-level Board of Commissioners seat was blamed on a series of technical errors. Interesting how all those technical errors keep on, helping the Democrats. Yeah, that's right. Keep the voters comfortable. We keep them comfortable, then we'll have a decision about how badly we should rig the election. Exactly, Sean. Keep them comfortable just like those babies we're going to slaughter. The left is pure evil. Pure evil. Take a look at this.
Commissioner race in District 2 between Lauren Alexander, Marshall Orson, and Michelle Longspears. The end result from the Dominion machine showed Lauren Alexander received 34.67% of the vote, Marshall Orson receiving 41.35% of the vote, and Michelle Longspears receiving 23.98% of the vote. In Georgia, if one candidate doesn't get above 50% of the vote total, a runoff election is automatically held between the two top candidates.
Nice job, Joe.
Meaning Michelle Longspears was cut out of the race. But Michelle Longspears felt odd about the numbers, so she visited different precincts to double-check the tallies. Guess what? She noticed that in some precincts she didn't receive a single vote. But how is that possible that a candidate with 24% of the vote total finds precincts where she didn't receive a single vote? While statistically alarming, the real surprise came when she realized there was not one vote cast for her in her own precinct, the same one where she and her husband voted for herself. Spears immediately demanded a hand recount of the results and got one. On June 1st, the results were released, and the difference between the Dominion machine count and the hand count was shocking. After the hand count, Lauren Alexander gained 355 votes, Orson lost 1,298 votes, and Spears actually gained 3,620 votes, making her the new runoff candidate. And here's the best part. When you add them all up, the hand count shows 2,810 votes more than the Dominion machines reported on the 24th. This is huge. In the small county commissioner's race, with 15,500 votes total, the Dominion machine tally was short by nearly 3,000 votes. What does that say about all the other races that were conducted on these very same machines? This is proof that the machines cannot be trusted. If Spears had not sounded the alarm, no one would have ever known.
They're counting on. They don't want you to know. That's why they use the machines, because it's a black box. You can't see what's going on in there unless you can see through the matrix like Neo and watch the binary code as they flip the votes. But yeah, not surprising. Not surprising. In a race with 15,000 votes, nearly 3,000 just not counted by the Dominion machines. Ooh, just a mistake, guys. Just the 20% of the votes in the district. Or in the county. That's insane. 20%. Yeah, and here's more about Judge McBurney. Arrest this bastard. Breaking. The most corrupt judge in Georgia just ruled to block the hand count of ballots on election night to ensure the machine counts are accurate. Saying he doesn't want a repeat of January 6th. So you don't want people to be able to honestly question the vote. So you're just not going to let them hand count. This dude needs to be arrested. Arrested. This dude is insane. Finally, the public interest is not disturbed by pressing pause here. This election season is fraught. Memories of January 6th have not faded away. Regardless of one's views of that date's fame or infamy. Anything that adds uncertainty and disorder to the electoral process deserves the public. Then just get rid of the entire option, the entire thing of vote counts, recanvassing, re-auditing, everything. Signature checking, just get rid of all of it. Because anything that adds uncertainty and disorder deserves the public, except what you're claiming adds uncertainty actually adds more certainty. It's like dumbass Tim Pool, who basically quit his show yesterday. Is he actually broadcasting tonight? He said yesterday might be the last show. Poor Timmy Tim. He's been impaled by the fence that he's been sitting on for so long. I stopped watching that fucker when he said, "Stop saying that 2020 was stolen. There's no evidence that 2020 was stolen, you fucking lying piece of shit." And questioning it, all that does is, it disenfranchises voters. No, stealing elections disenfranchises voters. Auditing elections, questioning the results, is working towards actually finding out the truth. And you know how you do the opposite of disenfranchising voters? Is by figuring out the truth. You restore confidence by figuring out the truth. This isn't complicated. Tim Pool, beanie man. So, is he broadcasting tonight, or did he actually quit? Omega Directive in the house. Big shout out to Omega Directive. Dropped a bomb on the chat or on the show yesterday via Venmo. Thanks so much, Omega Directive. Love you, brother. He's been with us basically since the start of the show. Sent a nice 1-year anniversary present to us. I appreciate you, brother. Always good to see you, man. Always good to see the infamous Alpha and Omega. So let's see what we got next on the list. A little message for the Dems / Uniparty from Rep. Clay Higgins, the man, the legend, the Louisiana lawman. Either follow or get the hell out of my way, because we're coming. We are coming for you. That's right. Legally, legislatively, through the process of the justice system. We're coming for all you criminal scumbags. Check out Clay Higgins. This dude is the man.
Both sides of the aisle. It is over in the Senate.
Appreciate you, brother.
No, with all due respect, Mr. Schumer, Mr. McConnell, you've had your day and it's over. And since your time of leadership is clearly past, either follow or get the hell out of our way, because we're coming. We're 100 million strong, mega patriots, and we're taking our country back. We're going to change the trajectory of spending. We're going to restore fiscal responsibility to this thing. We're going to seal up our border from illegal activity. We're going to take it back from the cartels that have been running it. We're going to stop these endless wars overseas. We're going to stop feeding those wars overseas. We're going to restore dignity and might and undefeatable power to our military. If you're in our way, I advise you to get the hell out of the way. We'll keep you posted, America. There's a lot going on up here.
Boom. Clay Higgins is the man. Reminds me of that movie Idiocracy. Either lead, follow, or get out of the way. And they're trying to hijack the lead. Nope. Get the hell out of our way. You rhinos and you damn scumbags. Oh man, I still want Chris Wray's answer to Clay Higgins. Did you have FBI agents dressed up as MAGA inside of the Capitol before they unlocked the magnetic doors on January 6th? The answer is yes, by the way. That's right, Sean. Oh, howl for the pack. That's right. Yesterday was our 1-year anniversary of our first broadcast on Common Censored. So it's been a year, guys. Time flies when you're having fun, right? Appreciate you guys keeping the show alive. And if you want to support us, you could head on over to our link tree at Common Censored. Loki needs treats for a little birdie belly. So keep us alive, keep the studio lights blinding me, and prevent me from being homeless. Just so you guys know, I'm not like behind on payments or anything like that. I'm living at on a property of a family member who happens to be Trump deranged. And so they're threatening eviction. But I can't afford my own place. So if that ends up happening, I need you guys to help me out. So thanks in advance for supporting the broadcast. I bigly appreciate each and every one of you. And Alpha Boss, Omega Directive would have turned the chat yesterday with a $100 bomb. So thanks again, Alpha Boss. You're the man. All right, let's jump over to our next one from Libs of TikTok. At Libs of TikTok, a Marine Corps veteran was allegedly removed from a plane and forced to change her clothes by Delta because she was wearing a shirt that brought awareness to veteran suicide. Is this how veterans are treated at Delta? You gotta be kidding me. Do not give in to the war within. End veteran suicide. Sounds like something that we could all get behind, right? And back. Apparently, this individual was forced to change their shirt. New York Post reporting Marine Corps veteran removed from Delta flight forced to change over, quote, threatening shirt. Just took my soul away. Nicholas McIntyre wrote this one. Let's see a video here.
This is the shirt that Catherine Banks says got her removed from her Delta flight on Wednesday. It reads, quote, do not give in to the war within, end veteran suicide.
Male flight attendant was saying, ma'am. And I was looking around like, who's he talking to? And it was me. And he said, you need to get off the plane. And I was like, what did I do?
Catherine Banks, a Marine Corps veteran, was removed from a Delta flight before she was ordered to change clothes. When a flight attendant ruled that the passenger's shirt brought attention to military suicides was, quote, threatening. 22-year veteran of the Marines was on board Delta flight at San Francisco. Banks complied, escorted off the plane onto the jet bridge where she finally learned why she was being removed. A dumbfounded Banks questioned the Delta employee before explaining that she was a veteran. So this is what they go overseas and fight for, to come back and be harangued and harassed over their free speech. Getting McGroin, turning the chat purple. Appreciate you, getting. Here's something for Loki treats and Lord Sterling's Scooby snacks. Zoink, Scoob. Oh man, I usually I can do a pretty good Shaggy, but we'll play the little clip of Loki boot camp. Got to get Loki trained up to provide cover fire for me. for when Tren de Aragua finishes their invasion of Connecticut. We have a story about a Tren de Aragua murder in Connecticut, which we'll cover a little bit later on. Omega Directive sent it to me earlier. Crazy, crazy stuff. So obviously this is injustice. This person put her life on the line for our freedom, only to come back and realize that we don't have freedom. We don't have freedom of speech. These airlines are pure, unadulterated evil. Let's jump back over to Rasmussen polls for our next one. Rasmussen reports at Rasmussen_poll. If the 2024 election were between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump, who would you vote for? Independents only. 50% for Trump of independents. 42% for Harris. Trump up by 8 for independents. This is good news because that independent vote makes a big difference. Thanks again, Getting McGroin and Omega Directive, and everybody that joined yesterday. Donna, we had Boiling Point Live drop in chat. Also, Sam Duty sent us some love on Cash App. Thank you guys so much. 1 year anniversary means a lot. Appreciate it. So yeah, election 2024, Trump widens lead over Harris. Former President Donald Trump has a 3-point lead over Vice President Kamala Mamala in the latest daily tracking poll of the presidential election. More at Rasmussen with 8% lead among independents. That is big. Yeah, Tri-Stater, exactly. And remember, a lot of polls lean left. So add a few points to the right. Yeah, the polls are always wrong. They had him losing in swing states that he won. Like Wisconsin, what was he? He ended up up by 15 points in Wisconsin in 2020. Something like that. Cat Turd posted another good Trump MAGA Donald's meme over here. Cat Turd at Cat Turd 2. Gato feces dos. I don't know. How do you say turd in Spanish? I'm not sure. LOL, another gem from Grrr Graphics. Oh, Ben Garrison. Nice. He does great political cartoons, often featured on InfoWars for years and years and years. Big ups to Ben Garrison. Look at this. Looks like she could use a Happy Meal as Kamala. All the joy is gone from the Kamala campaign. Now, Kamala. That's right, Tri-Stater. Gotta love Cat Turd. Thanks, Sam, if you're lurking. Appreciate that, Mama Mac. Big ups to Sam Duty. We love Sam. What are you talking about, Sean? Are you insulting me because I'm a big Stargate nerd? Star Wars or Stargate? Can't see. Oh, man. I'm going to be living in your basement soon, Sean. Make sure that hot tub is up and running, brother. We're going to be watching Stargate together. That's right. I'm going to strap you down Clockwork Orange style with your eyes wide open. Force you to watch Stargate. It'll be so funny. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I got that story on the list as well, Tri-Stater, but screw it. Let's jump over to it right now. Then we'll jump back into what we have next. Ian Carroll posting over here at Cancel Cloco. If you guys aren't already subscribed to Ian Carroll, you should be. Does awesome deep dives, breaking down the connections and corruption and all kinds of spheres and facets into the system. Look at this. Turns out Abercrombie and Fitch was also a part of the Jeffrey Epstein network. The ex-CEO just went down for operating a gay sex trafficking network. Ugh, gross. So gross. Where's the Hurl Cam when you need it, guys? Where's the Hurl Cam? All right, there it is. Oh. 2024 is the year that just keeps on giving. That's right. Let's check out Ian Carroll's little expose over here. Thanks, Tri-Stater. This dude's reports are the best.
Another sex trafficking ring just got busted, and this time it is Abercrombie and Fitch. And it only takes like 3 minutes on Wikipedia to realize that this is connected directly to Jeffrey Epstein.
I used to work for Abercrombie and Fitch. Back in the day, I worked in the back. Made sure before I was hired that I could listen to podcasts so I could sit back there and listen to InfoWars and Coast to Coast and Red Ice Radio. It was brutal.
Hence the Epstein Network shirt. So the former Abercrombie CEO, Mike Jeffries, was just charged with sex trafficking and interstate prostitution. And the article is basically just all summarized. what is described in this 10-page indictment that was just filed. It names 3 co-conspirators: Jeffries, the ex-CEO of Abercrombie, his gay lover, who I think is his husband or partner for a long time, and then one
Donna
other
knows.
man that was like their senior manager of this trafficking operation. And real quick, a funny tidbit. That third
The
guy,
manhead.
whose name is James T. Jacobson, I assume it's Todd, he's also known as Jim Jake or Mrs. Cook or Todd. I wonder why they're calling him Mrs. Cook. Giving shades of Diddy right now. But anyways, basically, it's an international sex trafficking and prostitution business where they were using the modeling arm of Abercrombie & Fitch to trick young men into basically saying, we'll give you a job if you do a little diddling, and then they would fly the good ones out to sex events all around the world. And they would say that could yield modeling opportunities with Abercrombie or otherwise benefit their careers. But they also threatened that if you didn't comply and go to these sex events, then you wouldn't get modeling opportunities and it would harm your career and you would be
Makes sense,
blacklisted from the
Tri-Stater.
industry, more or less. So it alleges that they would have a private tryout with Jeffries or these other higher up older men. And if they were good enough, then they would get the modeling job and they would be given an itinerary for what was actually a sex event, but the itinerary appeared as though it was just a regular photo shoot trip that they would fly somewhere and do a photo shoot. And so they were being tricked into like, oh, you did that one thing, and now you're all clear. You got the job. Fly over to that other country. You're going to take lots of photos. It's going to be great. Surprise, you are now at a freak off.
Yeah, this is what I've heard they do. The first they get you modeling in, in a dress, and then they bring you back next time and it's a bikini. Then they bring you back next time, and next thing you know, you're on your knees with a bunch of dicks in your face. Omega Directive said, suck a dick and we make you rich. Or let Harvey Weinstein suck your dick, according to Cat Williams. Remember that? Went into a meeting, let Harvey suck your dick. We'll give you a 10-movie deal. And he was like, I'm out of there. But Ludacris was next in line in the waiting room. And what do you know? He's done like 10 Fast and Furious movies since then. Luda! Getting his peen sucked by Harvey Weinstein. It's so fucked up. It's not funny. It's nervous laughter, I promise.
They required the men to sign non-disclosure agreements, and they alleged they intentionally recruited heterosexual men, certain of whom were unwilling to engage in particular acts, and then they coerced, forced, trapped them in until they complied with certain things. As in, they literally had staff that ensured that men attending did not leave the events until Jeffries and Smith decided they were over.
That's bullshit. That's called false imprisonment. Can't do that. Kidnapping, baby. Yeah, Mama Mac, the butt lust parasite. I was just talking about that. Toxoplasmosis gondii, found in cat feces. Speaking of cat turd, too, it makes it makes your face more symmetrical to make you more beautiful, so that you can get a romantic partner to then spread the parasite. But apparently, it also may infect a lot of gay people, which is what makes them so obsessed with butt sex, so they can transfer the virus via the butt. Brrr, too much information, Mama Mac. Too much information. Sorry for even bringing it up.
And there's all kinds of other things, like how they injected their dicks to make them be able to participate if they were not otherwise capable. There's lots of other details about how this went down. Don't need to go into all of it. It's worth noting that it appears, my read of what's in this indictment makes it seem as though this is based upon the testimony of, I think, 12 witnesses who were men that were victims of this scheme that have come forward. And so what is in this indictment is limited to what they saw and experienced.
Interesting, Omega.
This indictment does not necessarily allege that they were like selling the services to other people or like actually like trafficking in a broader sense, but I suspect they were. It's kind of ambiguous in the language used in here. It kind of frames this as though this was all for Jeffries' pleasure, but it kind of also implies that this was not all just for him. But anyway.
Yeah, Hershey Packers, Donna, and they don't even live in Pennsylvania.
Anyways, the Jeffrey Epstein connection. I put all these notes directly into my Jeffrey Epstein note file because the connection is right there.
Crazy. Interesting little tidbit, little fun fact about Hershey's chocolate. Hershey, I can't remember his first name, but the guy, Hershey, who created Hershey's, he built the whole town of Hershey, Pennsylvania, had a whole workforce ready to roll to make chocolate before he even had perfected the chocolate recipe. He had gone over to Europe, tasted some chocolate, some prototype chocolate they were working on over there, and he was like, oh man, this is going to be a hit. This is going to be a hit. So he went back home, he built an entire town factories and all this stuff to make chocolate before he had even finished the recipe. That's drive. That's commitment. That's knowing that you're going to succeed and doing everything it takes. Pretty amazing story. It's they had an episode about it on the food that made America on History Channel. Really interesting. Good show. I recommend watching it.
Because in 1988, Abercrombie & Fitch was bought by The Limited, now known as L Brands, company that owns Victoria's Secret. And then they put Jeffries in charge basically right after. He was their guy. And if you're not familiar with The Limited, that is Leslie Wexner's brand. Directly, we'll get to the Jeffrey Epstein stuff here in just a second. But I wanted to also mention for all of you millennials out there that Hollister was started as a subsidiary of Abercrombie & Fitch. They're the same company. Hollister, it's funny to note, Hollister claims
every once in a while they'd be like, okay, you got to go over to Hollister to work today. Like, all right, whatever.
in their marketing.
As long as I can listen to Alex Jones.
In 1922, Hollister, California. And that's a fucking lie. They were founded in the year 2000 in Ohio by Abercrombie & Fitch. So if you're a millennial and you remember going to the mall to hang out with your friends and Hollister and Abercrombie were right across from each other and you like literally got cancer just from smelling the perfume as you walked by, that was the same company on both sides there. And both were literally running a giant sexual trafficking ring. On behalf of Leslie Wexner, who put the dude in, like the dude who's just been charged was his guy, who he put in as CEO. Leslie Wexner was Jeffrey Epstein's boy. They were tied at the hip. They only mentioned Jeffrey Epstein 5 times on Leslie Wexner's Wikipedia page, and they try to kind of sterilize it to make it
Tulip
sound like
McGroin!
Like a little bit of money management, but no, it was not. I mean, he just retained him as a financial manager from that year to that year. It wasn't that big a deal. I mean, he only granted Jeffrey Epstein power of attorney over all of his assets, which, like, let's pause for a second and unpack what that means. That means that Les Wexner, the owner of Victoria's Secret and all of L Brands, including Abercrombie & Fitch, gave Jeffrey Epstein complete power over every single asset in his life. All of his billions of dollars, Jeffrey Epstein was allowed to send as much money as he wanted, anywhere that he wanted, at any time, without Leslie's oversight. He could open companies in Leslie's name. He could sell companies in Leslie's name. He had complete control.
Think about the leverage you got to have over somebody for them to do that. Oh, man. The Epstein blackmail sexual honeypot operation is real as fuck. Real as fuck.
Over everything Leslie owned if he wanted to exercise it. Okay? And to be clear, this was a Mossad operation. This was an Israeli operation, just to be clear. Anyone who's still trying to argue that has clearly not done their research, and we can talk about that another time. I mean, for starters, right here in my screenshot, we've also got Ehud Barak, one of his other good buddies, who was his Israeli handler back in the days when he was trafficking weapons on behalf of Israel. That's when he went from banking into trafficking weapons, into trafficking young women and boys. So, like,
Mossad, baby.
Ehud Barak, the ex-prime minister of Israel. At the time, he was the head of Israeli intelligence. So anyways, a little bit more about Leslie Wexner, who owns Victoria's Secret, L Brands, and Abercrombie & Fitch, who put this guy in, and his demon, self-proclaimed demon possession. Because although they skim right over all the Jeffrey Epstein stuff on his Wikipedia page, but they at least mention this New York Magazine profile in 1985 where he talked about being possessed by a D-book, or however you say it in Yiddish, I don't know. The Wikipedia page is okay, but Whitney Webb did a way better job on this one. It's one of my favorite chapters from One Nation Under Blackmail, Volume 2. The dark side of Wexner's philanthropy, Wexner and his D-book. And Wexner self-identified. He was telling the story of how he was possessed by this D-book spirit that drove him to success. But a D-book...
A Dybbuk. Remember, Mama Mac? That's what I said your dog should be named, buddy. Big black dog. I thought Dybbuk would be a cool name. It's like a demon.
Like Yiddish folklore. As defined by Encyclopedia Britannica, a D-book is a Jewish folklore term for a disembodied human spirit that, because of former sins, wanders restlessly until it finds a haven in the body of a living person. Unlike spirits that have yet to move on but possess positive qualities, such as the Magid or Ibur, the D-book is almost always considered to be malicious, which leads it to be translated in English as demon. All kinds of other interesting bits here. So anyways, one of the most powerful Jewish philanthropists in the world, who was extremely tied to Israel, who basically founded what became Birthright Israel, as well as so many other pieces of like pro-Israel philanthropy.
Nice tulip.
He funded and put together the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking network, and then basically gave Jeff Epstein everything he needed to manage it and to operate that. But not only that, he also, in addition to owning Victoria's Secret, I'm sure there's lots more to come out there, he also bought Abercrombie & Fitch and installed his guy in charge of Abercrombie & Fitch. And that guy just got indicted for running his own interstate sex trafficking and prostitution ring. This one focused on young men. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention that when Jeffries took over in 1990s, he specifically refocused the brand on the teen customer. He rebranded Abercrombie & Fitch and founded Hollister in order to target teen boys and girls. Remember,
messed up, man.
These are some of the biggest companies in the world. They're right there in your shopping malls. They're right there in your daily lives. They are operating sex trafficking rings. What do you think that means about all the other suspicious stuff we see, all the other conspiracy theories? You might want to start rethinking your worldview a little bit, because Pizzagate is real.
Yeah,
Another sex
Pizzagate
trafficking ring.
is totally real. Pizza, hot dogs, walnut sauce, triangular spirals. It's all real. It's all real. Thanks, Omega, posting about Toxoplasma gondii. I always call it Toxoplasmosa. Toxoplasma gondii. Super gross. Super gross. Ugh. Ugh. All right, let's check this one out from MJ Truth Ultra at MJ Truth Ultra. OMG, please let this happen. Trump is asked if we can find a way to eliminate federal taxes once America is back on its feet. Let's hear what he had to say.
My biggest concern is the future and the future generation,
Right.
my kids' generation.
Yeah.
A lot of people are worried that attaining the American dream at this point in time and in the near future is going to be unattainable for this upcoming generation, which I have kids that are part of that generation.
How many kids you have?
I have two, a 17 and an 18.
Dirk!
Good.
Now, I believe one of the biggest hurdles we have when it comes to attaining that American dream is overtaxation.
Yeah.
When it comes to federal taxes,
Right.
I know we're going to bring back, I'm sure you
All right, stop talking about Lady H. She's here now. Just kidding, Lady H. Hope you're having a kick-ass Tuesday. Lady H, thanks for joining us.
going to start back up the pipeline,
Right.
the Keystone Pipeline,
In 2
which
minutes.
is going to generate an abundance of revenue.
Right.
Also, with the tariffs that you've spoken of. So my question is, with all this extra revenue
Yeah.
we're going to be bringing into the country, so do you believe at some point in time we could find a way, once the country's back on its feet and getting enough revenue and paid off our debt, do you
Yeah.
think it's possible to find a way to eliminate federal taxes?
There is a way. There is a
and
way.
how do you
Look,
feel about
You know,
it,
in
and
the
what
old
steps would you
days,
take?
when we were a smart country, in the 1890s and all, this is when the country was relatively the richest it ever was. It had all tariffs. It didn't have an income tax.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Now we have income taxes, and we have people that are dying. They're paying tax, and they don't have the money to pay the tax. No, in the old days, 1890, 1880, we had so much money, they had to set up committees, blue ribbon committees, how to spend our wealth. We had no idea how to spend it with so much money. Then we went to the income tax system, and the rest is sort of history. But no, there is a way. I mean, if what I'm planning comes out, it's a great question, by the way.
Everyone could
You're
attain
a
the
pretty
American dream.
sophisticated cat, you know.
Everyone could attain the American dream if it wasn't for the high cost, the burden of high taxes, and we're
Everything.
taxed at every step of the way.
Yeah.
When we make it,
Don't even get me started on income tax. Oh, I'm on the verge of going on a mega rant. What people don't even know is that their income taxes on the federal income taxes don't even go towards any of the stuff you'd think it's going towards. Roads paid for by gasoline taxes, schools paid for by property taxes. The income tax just goes directly into the bankers' pockets to pay the interest on the national debt. The 16th Amendment, which was never properly ratified, supposedly legalized a direct unapportioned tax that on your labor and wages. But the federal income tax was only created along with the IRS simultaneously to the creation of the Federal Reserve. So we borrow money from the Fed. We have to pay it back with interest, which means we have to borrow more money because that money for the interest doesn't even exist in an ever-increasing Ponzi scheme. And they take your tax money to pay off that interest on the national debt. So if you get rid of the Fed, income tax by default no longer necessary. Period. End the Fed, end the income tax. Taxation is theft. Not to mention that the Constitution mandates that any direct tax must be apportioned, which means divided equally amongst the states based on their populations. So what you have with the federal income tax is an illegal, direct, unapportioned tax, completely unconstitutional. That's right, Biggs. Appreciate you, brother. And the Fed. Couldn't have said it better myself. So you have a direct, unapportioned, unconstitutional tax. And the only reason that they can get away with saying it's legal is because, according to the Internal Revenue Code, it's based on voluntary compliance. It's not mandatory. You are volunteering to pay income tax when you give your employer your social security number, which represents a corporation in your name, and your labor and wages, which they have no authority to tax, then become income defined by the Supreme Court as gain derived by corporate activity. So when you are working, you have an even exchange. You exchange 8 hours of work for 8 hours of pay. There's no gain there. It's an even swap. But when you put the money, your labor and wages in your Social Security corporation, it becomes a gain for that corporation. Gain derived by corporate activity, and it becomes liable to be taxed as income. And you're volunteering to do it. They trick employers into all participating with this program by offering all kinds of federal benefits for employers who participate in the Social Security scheme and everything. And they trick people without informed consent into volunteering to pay their taxes on their own labor and wages. It's pure evil.
And regulations. So I cut more regulations in 4 years than any other president by 4 times.
And next time, cut 10 times as many. Remember, he's got that policy for every regulation passed, 10 need to be eliminated. That is what we call decimation, literally. Like decimal, dec, 10. Decimation, to reduce something by an order of magnitude to 10% of what it was before. We need to do that with the entire federal regulatory code. The entire thing. Entire thing. Let's see what we got next on the list. Uh-oh. Joan saying, what's coming down is historic. I don't know if the dollar will lose reserve status, but we are all in for a big storm. Big storm. Seaside 1776 on X posting this one. Bank loan delinquencies skyrocketing. 66 banks face insolvency. Dollar about to lose reserve status. We have information that the BRICS countries are going to be meeting on the 24th to discuss replacing the dollar as the world reserve currency. This time it's for real, says Seaside 1776. The big one is coming. Highly dangerous. Highly dangerous. Bank, non-owner occupied, non-farm resident, non-residential loan past due and non-accrual rates by asset size skyrocketing. We're I don't actually exactly know what's going on in these charts. I didn't analyze them before, so I'm not going to pretend like I did. But if 66 banks are facing insolvency, all it took was one in the bank panic of 1907, when J.P. Morgan claimed that the Knickerbocker Bank was insolvent, triggering a run on the bank, causing all bank runs across the board. That's why you've never heard of Knickerbocker Bank, because it was destroyed. The way that banks used to operate is that they would take your deposits, they'd hold them, and then they would loan out some of it at interest to profit. That's how banks profit. BRICS conference started today, Threeper says. Ooh, got to keep our eyes on that. If you got any links, send them my way. Faux show. Thanks, Threeper, for keeping us updated. So they loan out deposits at interest to make profit. And so at any given point in time, if they have half the money that's in their deposits loaned out, they don't have enough to pay out people's, if they want to withdraw from their accounts. So that's just the way banking worked. J.P. Morgan knew that. Triggered the bank run on Knickerbocker Bank, caused the panic of 1907, where a whole bunch of banks went insolvent and got crushed. And then he came back around saying, well, I have an idea to fix that. He gathered his little Rothschild agent buddies over on Jekyll Island in the Carolinas, Georgia. I can't remember for some reason right now. Jekyll Island, Georgia, I think. And they created the plan for the Federal Reserve. So now, instead of loaning out money at interest that they have from deposits, every time you deposit $1 through fractional reserve banking, they create $10 out of thin air. and loan out this artificial debt that they create through the fractional reserve system. So it's just multiplying, inflating. It's a bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch of bullshit, to quote Tourette's Guy. You guys ever watch Tourette's Guy? Hilarious channel over on YouTube. Oh, thanks, Mom Mac. I got to grab that link and add it to the show notes. Boom. There we go. All right, let's do a little flashback. Take a little trip back in time, Wayne's World style, to the good old days, and check out Alex Jones at age 23, carving a pumpkin on public access TV. That's right. Halloween is almost here, guys. That's why we played that video of Heels Up getting peed on by Uncle Sam in the Halloween display at the start of the show. Let's check out Jones carving a pumpkin on Texas, local access TV.
Came on cable access and hung out, or what your actual employment was?
I come on public access and hang out. I'm on 24 hours a day, they say.
Yeah, pretty close.
Well, I can assure you I don't make any money off public access. I can guarantee you that.
Well, you guys have a good one.
Hey, appreciate that call. Hello, caller. You on the air?
Yes, Alex. How you doing?
Pretty good.
I was just kind of curious if it's true that the police can have laser or infrared beams, if you want to call it, and they can project those into your house to basically...
Yeah, the Austin Police Department, last time I heard, has 20 units with infrared. If you have enough of a heat source in your house, it'll pick up the heat source and show a signature. It's called flare. It's infrared or heat signature, and we didn't play all of the cut from the Lear News Hour, but it says yes, black helicopters are being used for surveillance of the public by sheriff's departments and police departments around the country.
That's right, Omega.
So
FLIR,
that's real.
F-L-I-R.
I'm going to play that tomorrow night from 8:30 on past 10 on my Access Television show. That's actually my show proper, just isn't a entertainment show. And I'm going to have a tax expert on. So you'll see the Lear News Hour, a short little cut for news reasons. That'll show you Lear News Hour saying, yeah, here's the black helicopters. The military has sold them to the police departments all over the country. They've got thousands of them. They've got thousands of tanks and armored personnel carriers now. And they don't say, by the way, all these people that have been kooks for 10 years telling you about it, now they're admitting they have black helicopters. It's a fact.
We saw the black helicopters rotor washing people putting together supplies in North Carolina. Remember that? Oh, man. How about this one? Bombshell prosecutor Nathan Wade met with White House DA Big Fanny Pack Willis, planned to prosecute Trump before she took office. Imagine my shock, guys. Imagine my shock. Bombshell Jamie White, longtime InfoWars writer, writing this one. Prosecutor Nathan Wade revealed to Congress that his lover, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, planned to prosecute former President Donald Trump before she even took office in 2021. Wade told the House Judiciary Committee during a closed-door deposition last week that Willis put him on a, quote, search committee to find a prosecutor to charge Trump with allegedly attempting to overturn the 2020 election, according to transcripts released Monday, compelled by subpoena. He's confessing! This is nuts. Notably, challenges to the 2020 election were still playing out at the time, so they don't even know if they were legitimate or if he's just trying to overturn the results. We're just going to arrest him and prosecute him anyway. Show me the man, I'll find you the crime. Stalin style. These people are pure evil. Rep. Jim Jordan. Today, we released the transcript of Nathan Wade's deposition before the House Judiciary Committee. Read it here. We got a link to that. If you want to check out the transcript, it's a bunch of pages long. We're not going to read through all that because I don't want to bore you into oblivion. But Wade explained that Willis ultimately chose him to be the prosecutor for the 2020 election interference, quote-unquote, case. Quote, so January 1st, I was part of the search committee for that newly elected district attorney, and we were tasked with trying to identify someone who would serve as lead counsel on the election interference investigation, Wade said, according to the transcript. Quote, eventually, I guess the committee turned their guns on me and started trying to convince me to accept the role. Wade also revealed he had extensive communications with the Biden-Harris White House, the Congressional January 6th Unselect Committee, and other DC officials, but claimed under oath that he could not remember who from the White House was involved. If you believe that, I got a bridge from Long Island to Hawaii to sell you. The substance of the meetings, or where they even took place, he couldn't remember any of it. Who was involved from the White House, what they talked about, or where. I'm calling bullshit on that. Where is the bullshit flag when you need it?
Here it is. The bullshit flag's coming out.
The bullshit flag is definitely coming out for this one. No doubt about it.
I'm definitely throwing the bullshit flag out.
Sounds like fucking bullshit. Oh my God, dude. These people are just reprehensible in every sense of the word. It's insane. It's completely insane. For example, Wade had billed a, quote, conference with White House counsel in May 23, 2022, and a, quote, interview with DC White House in November 18th, 2022, respectively, but claimed he couldn't remember who was at the first meeting and didn't even recall the second meeting. Yeah, just going to the White House, not like your average everyday event, but I don't remember anything. I don't remember. Like that dude, was it Sergeant Schultz? I know nothing. I saw nothing. I did not even wake up this morning. That's Nathan Wade over there, apparently. Complete bullshit. Total bullshit. And didn't Big Fanny claim like, oh, we weren't coordinating with the White House. None of that actually happened. Totally ridiculous. For example, in fact, Wade said he couldn't remember details 58 times, demonstrating the same memory lapses he apparently had during his Georgia testimony earlier this year, where he had to explain the timeline of events leading to Willis hiring him amid revelations they shared an undisclosed romantic relationship which began in early 2022. During that testimony, Wade said in written testimony under oath that he did not have a relationship with Willis during his marriage to another woman before admitting on the witness stand that he and Willis were lovers. Where's the perjury charge? Throw this fucker in prison, man. These people are scumbags. If he lied about that, what else is he lying about? Maybe lying about how he doesn't remember who he was working with at the White House. I mean, seems like probably a lie to me. Trump and co-defendants alleged their secret relationship presented a conflict of interest. And Wade resigned from the Trump case this year after the judge ultimately ruled that either Willis or Wade must be removed from the Trump prosecution to avoid misconduct. It's the odor of mendacity, Judge McAfee said. Then get rid of them both. You can't pick one or the other. Totally insane. You got to get rid of them both, bro. Wade's 2022 correspondence with the federal government raised concerns that Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Heels Up Harris were politically motivated to assist Wade with bringing charges against Trump a year later. And now Wade's testimony suggests Willis's prosecution of Trump was indeed politically motivated, like Letitia James in New York campaigning on getting Trump. Before they have any evidence, before they have any charges, get Trump. Just like, whose book was that? Dershowitz's book? Get Trump. Prior to his deposition with Congress, Willis told the House Judiciary Committee she instructed Wade not to answer questions about the 2020, quote, election interference case, claiming his, quote, testimony would force him to improperly divulge confidential information that is protected by privileges. Confidential information about how you're a criminal scumbag, Fanny? About how you broke the law in all this repeatedly and lied repeatedly? Like that kind of confidential information? Willis asserted Wade's knowledge of, quote, key evidence, confidential attorney communications, legal theories and analyses, prosecutorial recommendations and deliberations, as well as knowledge of the sources, procedures, and techniques employed in this investigation are, quote, legally privileged and not subject to disclosure. But when people say the same thing about Trump, like Steve Bannon says, I'm protected by executive privilege, they throw his ass in jail. But not the Democrats. He lies on the stand. He refuses to talk about certain things, and everything's fine in his case because he's blue, baby. On August 14th, 2023, Trump and 18 of his allies were indicted on charges of election fraud, RICO style, as you guys know. So there's the full link if you want to watch or read through the transcript. We also have Rep. Jim Jordan posting about it. Today we released a transcript with a link over there. That'll be in the show notes as well. Gunther Eagleman reporting on this as well, saying breaking, and this is at Gunther Eagleman on X. Breaking! The White House likely colluded with Nathan Wade on the case against Trump. According to the transcripts released, he had a conference with White House counsel on May 23rd, 2022, and November 18th, 2022. This is what a corrupt government looks like. Our tax dollars paid for these meetings with Wade to persecute the political enemies of the demon rats. Good question, Omega. Confidential information on the sin of coveting thy neighbor's wife. Yeah, that sounds about right, JJRSVL. Oh, man. So we talked about how the IDF Brigadier General said that there's going to be an upcoming strike on Iran that would start a war that'll last many months. Okay, we already covered this. BRICS saying there will be a very significant attack taking place soon. In other BRICS news, BRICS to discuss ending reliance on the US dollar with 40 countries on October 24th. Wow, BRICS de-dollarization begins. Put back your savings in precious metals now before it's too late, because this is the type of scenario I outlined in my song that could obliterate the dollar, triggering a tsunami, an influx of dollars as people dump dollars around the world, sending them back to the U.S., and hyper-inflating the U.S. dollar to the point of total obliteration, Zimbabwe style, Weimar Republic style, like the German mark, which went from silver in like 1919 was like 16 marks per ounce. And then by 1923, it was like 160 billion marks an ounce. That is called hyperinflation. The paper was so worthless that it was cheaper to burn a wheelbarrow of marks of their dollar bills than it was to buy oil or wood to heat your house. They were burning wheelbarrows of cash. Watcher.guru reporting BRICS de-dollarization begins. 40 countries to attend 2024 summit by Vinod D'Souza. The de-dollarization initiative is no longer confined to BRICS, as other emerging economies are participating in the discussions at the 2024 summit. The outreach session will be conducted on the last day of the summit on October 24th, 2024. Topics such as de-dollarization, new trade policies, and the usage of local currencies will take center stage. The 9-member alliance will meet for the first time at the table for discussions after the expansion last year. Russian President Vladimir Hitler Putin confirmed that officials from 40 countries will attend the outreach session at the BRICS 2024 summit. The participants include countries from the Commonwealth of Independent States, CIS, Asia, Africa, Eastern Europe, South America, and the Middle East. Read here to know how many sectors of the U.S. will be affected if BRICS ditches the dollar for trade. We should join BRICS, man. We should join BRICS. Back the dollar with gold. Because this is crap, man. We got monopoly money. This is inevitable. It's pure evil. Of course, somebody's going to come around, back a currency with gold because we're stealing from them. Nobody wants to hold dollars. Because if you have your reserves in our money, then every time the Federal Reserve prints a dollar, they steal that value from your savings. We're doing this to countries around the world. We've siphoned money off of the reserves of countries around the world using our world reserve currency as a vector, a mechanism, a weapon of economic conquest. So countries are sick of it. We covered it the other day. Imagine if we had siphoned all of that wealth and used it to better our own country. We could have advanced technology, all kinds of, crazy cool stuff. Everybody would have a house, their own property, etc. But instead, using our money, we let the central bank steal from the rest of the world and use it to launch foreign wars, funding socialist revolutions to centralize control, etc. around the world. And I'm not saying it's right. We should have never done this and created the world reserve currency so we could steal value in stealth from everybody's savings. But if we're going to, it should at least benefit us, but it didn't. So just total trash. On the last day of the summit, there will be a meeting in the BRICS Plus/outreach format with the participation of representatives from almost 40 countries. Vladimir Putin said, the BRICS outreach will highlight the importance of de-dollarization and the need to end reliance on the U.S. dollar. Representatives from various international organizations will also attend the outreach session of the BRICS 2024 summit. We should all be, against the U.S. dollar. It's a weapons system. It's a weapons system used not only to attack all these countries that want to join and protect their savings with gold-backed BRICS money, but against us. They're hurting us with it as well, which is why I say we need to repatriate the gold from the Federal Reserve and split it up among Americans for reparations for all the money that they're stealing from us right now with inflation. Inflation, not prices going up. Inflation, the expansion of the monetary base. They've changed the definition of inflation to divert your attention and deflect from them being responsible to oh, don't worry about the man behind the curtain. Inflation is just the prices going up. We don't know why. We know why. It's from you printing money. That's right. Everybody's Hitler. Biggs. Trump's Hitler. Putin's Hitler. No, it was closest to Hitler. For real. Oh, as he wages a genocidal, race-based, partially warfare against the entire planet. Not just the Arabs, but the Goyim as well. Everybody. Oh, man. Brutal. So, yeah, they're going to go over here, talk about de-dollarization with like 40 countries. And you better brace yourself and pray that we don't have massive hyperinflation. The BRICS Alliance is strengthening the de-dollarization agenda at the 2024 summit by convincing developing countries to end dependency on the U.S. dollar. The move will bolster the native economies of developing countries and safeguard their local currencies and businesses to prevent the central banking scum from stealing right from their bank accounts. Oh, man. So this is going to be intense. Let's check in over at Polymarket. We got Rasmussen with Trump in the lead. Everybody reporting Trump in the lead. 55% of Democrats knowing that the election's going to be stolen. And what do we have now over on Polymarket? The gap continuing to widen. It hit as much as Trump was up earlier, I believe, at 65 point something percent. Yeah, look at this. 65%, and Kamala was down at 34.5%. This is massive. Just a couple more points and Trump is doubling Kamala. Nuts. Completely crazy. And even though there's a whale dumping massive amounts of money over on Polymarket, it doesn't change the fact that this is actually, being mimicked by other polls all over the place. Is it a self-fulfilling prophecy? Some dedicated badass whale going in there pumping a ton of money into Polymarket to trigger a self-fulfilling prophecy where people think, oh man, Trump's taking the lead. People are putting their money where their mouth is and changing people's opinions in the polls. Billdozer 74. Hope you had a good show last night, brother. You're doing Monday and Thursday at 9:30 Central Time on Billdozer 74 on Rumble, right? If you're not already subscribed to Billdozer, check out Billdozer. Subscribe to Lady Hamilton Art as well on Rumble. Unique Prepping on YouTube. JJRSVL on Rumble. The Outlaw Dogs on Rumble. Thanks to all of our cool community members all working together. A rising tide lifts all ships. So make sure to sub to Billdozer 74 and Lady Hamilton Art, etc. So we have USA Today over here. This posted by Recall Katie Hobbs at American Humoner. Breaking: Trump is leading among Latinos by 11 points, man. 11. In USA Today poll, Latinos just aren't buying it that Trump's border policies are racist. when Harris inflation and mass invasion has destroyed Latino citizen jobs and buying power. Simultaneously, not only will we ruin your job prospects and wages, but we'll also take away your buying power with inflation. Isaac Hayes would call that simultaneous loving, baby. Yep. Oh, man. Let's see what we got next. Oh, let's check in with Lizzo. It's Lizzo. You guys remember that? Ozepic spoof from South Park. Jason stands for truth at True J Mitchell posted this one. Lizzo took a break from making beautiful music to hop on stage at a Kamala rally and say that if Kamala wins, you're not going to believe this, the whole country will be like, wait for it, Detroit? What? You won't be able to drink any of the water in the United States, guys. Oh, man. Let's watch someone named Jeff break down how bad the country would be if it were like Detroit. This is unreal. Vote for Kamala, because then the whole country will be like Detroit. You can't make this up. These people are brain dead. I want to see Detroit be great again, man. I want the jobs back. I want the city cleaned up. Imagine if we took the $100 billion, $200 billion we sent to Ukraine and put just a cool $2 or $3 billion into Detroit. All that money that we're stealing from around the world, we're just using to foment, wars and bullshit. That could have been used for Detroit, for countries here, for cities and states here that need help. We would not have a single homeless veteran, a single homeless child. But instead, we're sending it to fuckboy Mr. Pre-Pink Mist Zelensky and Hitler Netanyahu.
They say if Kamala wins, then the whole country will be like Detroit. Okay? Proud like Detroit. Resilient like Detroit.
High crime like Detroit. Poverty like Detroit. Unemployment like Detroit. Nobody wants to live there like Detroit. Are we talking about the same Detroit? Lizzo, I might actually agree with you for once, but I have a question. Is this endorsing Kamala or is this an advertisement for Trump? Well, you heard it here first, y'all. If you want the country to look like Detroit, you know who to vote for.
Bro, it's true. The country will look like Detroit if Kamala wins. That's what communism does. They don't elevate everybody. They just lop off the people at the top until everybody's nice and even with equity at a shithole country level. Let's be real. And that's another thing. Oh, Trump's racist for saying shithole countries. Why are you assuming it has anything to do with race? Policies, culture, the horrible, there's plenty of horrible things that have nothing to do with race that would cause one to designate certain places as shithole countries. It's racist of you to automatically associate that with race. That came from your brain. Not you guys, obviously. But let's continue.
Absolutely.
Rewind a couple
Torch.
seconds.
Is this endorsing Kamala or is this an advertisement for Trump? Well, you heard it here first, y'all. If you want the country to look like Detroit, you know who to vote for. I love
Absolutely tore her to shreds. Let's go through this. As of the most recent update in October of 2024, Detroit's unemployment rate stands at 8.8%. That is literally more than double the national average of 4.1. Detroit's violent crime rate is substantially higher than the national average. According to 2023 FBI data, the city had approximately 2,238 violent crimes per 100,000 residents, while the national average was around 395 per 100,000. Like Detroit. Now look at this. Despite some localized improvements and investments, the broader migration patterns still show net out migration, meaning more people are leaving the city than moving in.
Imagine my shock, just like New York, just like California. Better watch out, Mama Mac. Some might enjoy a spanking. Just saying.
Detroit metro area saw a population decline of about 1.2% between 2020 and 2022. Just ripped her to shreds. Dear Lord.
Unreal. It's going to be so great. The whole country is going to be like Detroit. Are you listening to yourself, Lizzo? All the mass is in the rest of your body, and none of it is in your brain, apparently. Sorry, that was mean. I don't care. Fuck you, Lizzo. Tony at TonyX2, TWO, says, well, so much for early voting. Their scanners are broken, and they said, don't worry, we'll just put it in the box, and we'll make sure we count them. We scan them all tonight when everybody leaves. You can trust us. Dude, insane. Insane. I think Jones said that this happened to his uncle in Texas too. This is Illinois. So we have machines failing, flipping votes in what was it, Georgia, Tennessee, and Texas reported yesterday. And now we have machines completely failing in Illinois.
Well, so much for early voting. Their scanner's broken. And they said, don't worry, we'll just put it in a box. And we'll make sure we scan them all tonight when everybody leaves. And I said, no, I'll come back another day. Well,
Unbelievable.
So early vote.
We'll just scan them later when everybody leaves. You can trust us. Fuck you. You kidding me? You shitbags. We know exactly what you're doing. Tri-Stater just posted this in the chat. Reports that Lizzo charged the Harris Walls campaign $2.3 million for one appearance at a Detroit rally. What a racket. The joy is gone. Yeah, if it was so joyful, you wouldn't have to pay people. They would be excited and happy and joyful to show up. Joey Manarino, holy shit, Lizzo isn't worth that. It was all for the buffet that was needed to sustain Lizzo. Spoiler alert. Oh man, they used the livestock scale. Ooh, no comment. Paul Acipula, imagine with all that money, what all that money could do for the victims of Hurricane Helene and Milton. For real. That's a shit ton out of McDonald's. Gunther Eagleman. Vincent Sativa reading my mind. The majority of that was spent on food to feed Lizzo. Yep. There's no other explanation, guys. There's no other explanation. I was terrified when she was playing Thomas Jefferson's, James Madison's flute, the crystal flute. I thought she was going to smash it. Thank fuck she had enough respect not to do that. What are you pointing at in the chat, Lady H? Lizzo's new smash single, Skip the Salad. Oh, man. You guys are too much. Too much. Let's see what we got next on the list. Hop over to Wall Street Apes, at Wall Street Apes on X. Just when you think things can't get any worse in Kamala Harris's America, American citizens being evicted from their homes in Springfield, Ohio, so that illegal Haitian migrants can move in. Springfield City Commission meeting, residents speaking. Let's just watch the clip so I won't read what this woman is saying.
Approached yesterday by a non-speaking or non-English speaking member of the community now, one of our new residents, that apparently purchased my home. I was not aware. No one told me until yesterday morning. And this gentleman came up and put a 3-day notice on my door. I've been a resident there for 6 years. He did not speak English. But he came up and told me I have 3 days. 3 days. To move out of my home. I'm getting pushed out of my home by someone that can't speak my language and doesn't know the law and doesn't know the rules of what an eviction is or what communication is, because he can't tell me. It's not his fault. But I want to know where the resources are for us, because I don't get rental assistance. My $15 an hour, I make too much. I took a pay cut because my employer had to outsource the company I work for overseas. I had to take a pay cut of a fourth of what I made. And now on top of that, I'm being asked to leave my home by someone that can't communicate this to me. We're getting pushed out of this community. I was born here.
I want to be compassionate here. Your time is up.
You fucking asshole. You fucking asshole.
Approach.
Holy fuck, these people, man. These people. Pushing out Americans during a financial, obviously, recession that we're in, and just giving the same places to illegals. Oh, man. Makes me so mad. The feds are probably paying for it, too. More than the rates paid by the locals, as we've seen in other cases as well. Let's hop over to Lockland, Ohio, for our next topic. Libs of TikTok posting this one. At Libs of TikTok. We love Libs of TikTok. Hiya, right chick, doing awesome work. An official from the small town of Lockland, Ohio, reveals the devastating impact that the influx of illegals from Mauritania has had on its town. Mauritania, over in the desert. Possibly the home base of Atlantis, where the Eye of Rakat, the Eye of the Sahara, the Rakat structure in the middle of the desert there, matching all of Plato's descriptions of Atlantis. Look at Bright Insight on YouTube. Just type Bright Insight Atlantis, and you'll find it. Jimmy Corsetti went viral after that, going on Joe Rogan and every place, except Common Censored. We got to get him on our show. Jimmy's the man. Continuing, at least 2 apartment complexes have been overrun by illegals, creating a strain on utilities and displacing American workers. Interestingly, the legendary alleged king of Atlantis, at least of the capital city, Atlas, was one of 10 pairs of twins. And if you look at Mauritania, the alleged location of the capital city of Atlantis, they still to this day have the highest rate of twins in the world. Just more obscure evidence pointing to that potentially being the location of the lost city. Quote, I don't know how they found our small village, the feds. But the quality of life is definitely being affected by this problem. That's right. Supply stays the same. Demand goes up. Prices go up. It's basic economics. They're fucking us, and they know exactly what they're doing. They want us broke, poor, sick, dependent, and most of all, dead.
I don't know. I think if you look at 21, 22, I think the United States.
Sorry for the low volume.
Huge influx of immigrants from Mauritania. Somehow a good number of them have landed in Lockland. So between the fire department, who takes care of housing and zoning, and the health department, obviously, who addresses health issues, we've been able to do some inspections in some of the buildings. And
I know you guys are going to be complaining about the volume. It's just too low, unfortunately. Libs, do better. Mix those levels before you drop the videos. So I can hear it on my end, but you guys probably can't hear it. If you want to hear the details about how this town is being screwed up by the illegals coming in en masse and messing up the balance, the careful balance of the free market, where just enough is produced to make demand so there's not excess and waste, and then you throw a bunch of people in there and the whole system gets out of whack, then check out the link in the description. This will be available immediately following the broadcast down in the description on Rumble, along with links to all the topics we discussed so you can help function as force multipliers with our show to spread this information far and wide, accelerating and exacerbating the Great Awakening in the face of the global communist dictatorship and reset. Real quick, make sure to hit up alplama.com, ALPLAMA.com, your new herbal health guru. Show Mama Mac some love. Pick up some of their new products. They got wild lettuce. What's the new one you just mentioned that you have, that you released, Mama Mac, as well? Lion's mane. Amazing, like the only clinically proven supplement, I think aside from CoQ10, that will regrow your nerves. If you had surgery and you have a numb spot or something, Lion's mane will regrow your nerves and help get rid of that. They got anti-anxiety and parasitic, mugwort, mullein for getting rid of chest congestion. Thanks, Mama Mac. Ceylon cinnamon extract. And what does that do, Mama Mac? Let us know. So yeah, check out alplama.com. They got herbal teas, herbal extracts. The teas are delicious. Same thing can't be said about the tinctures. Tastes bad, but so good for you, right, Mama Mac? Alplama, yuck. We love Alplama. And if you want to support the show directly, you can head on over to our link tree at Common Censored. We're celebrating 1 year of being on air this week. And it's the show's only going to be able to continue if you guys help support it. So I don't like asking for money, but I would encourage you to help support us by hitting that big, beautiful join button and committing to support the channel with 5 smackers per month. Anybody who joins that way or via Subscribe Star or Locals for the same thing automatically entitled to the rank of commissioned officer in the Common Censored Info Infantry, not a real militia, just a way to help encourage and incentivize making it fun to share and support the show. Any Rumble rants will be read on air, and anybody who Rumble rants or donates via Cash App or Venmo, tips, so to speak, is automatically entitled to the rank of warrant officer in the Info Infantry branch of your choice. Info Army, Info Navy, Info Marines, Info Space Force, Info Coast Guard, and then members of all the branches are all welcome to participate in the meme cannon cavalry. Where's JJ? Where's JJ Von Pepe? We need JJ back for those memes, making all kinds of good memes. Gator's great with the memes too. And but all it takes to join the Info Infantry is just sharing the broadcast. One share equals one mission completed for the Common Censored Info Infantry. So share the show on X, Getter, Gab, Minds, Truth, Patriots.win, GreatAwakening.win, everywhere. And let us know you shared it so we can give you your first rank. And then 10 shares after that will earn you another rank. So you can start off your way at the bottom of enlisted and work your way all the way up to commissioned general in the Info Infantry, up there with all of our mods, our great mods, our generals in the in this info war. Oh yeah, Omega Directive, good call. Rumble rants, if you do it from a mobile device, iOS and Android each take 30%. So on top of Rumble taking 20, iOS and Android take 30, even though they don't fucking do anything. So you're basically giving half of your money away. If you wanted to actually support the show and keep us on air, Cash App, Venmo, Google Pay, 100% goes to the show. So thanks in advance and again for your continued support. Omega Directive, I think you may have been our first Rumble rant, Omega, back in the day, dropping a 50 on the show. Love you, brother. Thanks so much. All right, let's get back into the news topics for the day. Let's see where we're going next. We're going to hop over to Illinois, to Will County, another libs of TikTok post over here. Will County, Illinois Democrat board member Natalie Coleman tells residents to just downsize if they can't afford rising property taxes. Oh, we're going to raise the taxes to screw you and bend you over the barrel, the proverbial barrel. If you can't afford it, just downsize. Fuck you, basically. They're basically just saying, fuck you. Illinois spent hundreds of millions of tax dollars on migrants in their sanctuary cities while residents can't afford their homes. Fuck you. We're raising the money so we can pay for the illegals to have places to live. You can downsize because you're a fucking dirty American scumbag plebeian. That's what they think of us. That's what they think of us. Downsize so the illegals can live lavish off your tax dollars.
Some people have been promoting on social media that they are specifically responsible for
Another low volume. I'm gonna repeat what she says so you guys can hear it.
Some people have been promoting on social media that they are specifically responsible for
Some people have been reporting on social media that they are specifically responsible for taxes in Will County. And I just think it's very sad.
The other piece is we're talking about people who are fed up with paying property taxes.
Fuck, I can't even hear it myself. God damn, I forget what you said. Here, link in the description in the chat if you want to watch it. But they're just saying downsize. I've been paying property taxes for 12 years, she says. There's no problem with it. It's like the IRS commissioner back in the day saying, well, I've paid income taxes my whole life. It's just part of American life. It's like I was talking with a fucking idiot the other day. You know, like one of the main talking points from Kamala in the debate and all these dumbass interviews that Trump has been doing on mainstream media. They're like, well, you voted against the border security bill. Why would he vote for the border security bill when there's $15 billion for Ukraine in there? And this idiot individual that I was talking with, all bills are like that. All bills do that. So what? Like you're saying that just makes it okay? No. How about single issue bills? Don't try to leverage people and extort them into voting for things they don't want to by offering a carrot while the stick is in the rest of the bill. It's bullshit. Oh, all bills are like that. Oh, so we should just embrace pork barrel earmarks and bullshit, omnibuses where you have to support all this stuff you don't want if you want to support the one thing that you do want. That's bullshit. That's bad logic. oh, it's just the way it is. No, fuck that. Fuck you on top of that.
It becomes a point in time where I couldn't afford that, I'm going to downsize.
If there becomes a point in time where I couldn't afford that, paying her property taxes, I'm going to downsize. Just downsize. Fuck you, they're saying. Man, these people, the balls, the gall, the hubris. These people are insane. Insane. Let's jump over next to check in on East Palestine, Ohio. Wall Street Apes reporting at Wall Street Apes. Inside job. East Palestine, Ohio chemical train derailment. Independent testing expert Scott Smith says after looking at all the evidence and, quote, knowing the data, the chance of a cover-up is 100%, not 99.999%. The full hundo. Dropping the Benjamin on this bitch. Let me repeat that. Chance of cover-up is 100%. It's definitive. People need to start going to prison, he says. Let's check out Fredo Cuomo. He's smart. He's smart, guys. He's not like dumb, like people say. He's smart.
East Palestine, Ohio, nobody cares anymore. And you know what? It was still a toxic train derailment. And we don't know how toxic. And we don't know why people are sick and how many and what's going to happen to the homeless. And
That's right,
we
Tri-Stater.
may never find out. What % chance do you believe, knowing the data the way you do, that there is a cover-up here?
100%.
For
And
real,
here's why.
Omega.
I can explain this in simple in about 25 seconds. Let's say I work for multi-billion-dollar Norfolk Southern. I get pulled over on the road. I'm clearly drunk, swerving all over. And I tell the police, I work for Norfolk. They say, oh, you can do your own testing. The reporting limit on Ohio is 0.08. My blood alcohol is 1.2, but the police say, oh, no problem, do your own testing. So I raise the reporting limit by a factor of 3 to 0.24. My real blood test is 0.15.
Letting the fox guard the henhouse, so to speak. Letting the investigators investigate themselves. It's fucking stupid. We got an alert for that kind of idiotic type thing.
Uh-oh, retard alert. Retard alert, class.
Not for this individual. This guy's based. But for the entire concept of just trusting what they say when they're the ones who did it. It's like, this doesn't take rocket appliances to figure out, guys.
But what the EPA did here is I say, oh, the reporting limit's 0.24 and my blood alcohol is less than that. It's non-detect. It's that simple.
These people, man. I don't understand how anybody goes along with this stuff. So, aside from the mass poisoning of the environment and the residents of East Palestine, Ohio, we have reports of disturbing reports of similar type thing potentially happening in North Carolina. Kathleen Winchell at Kathleen Winche 3 reporting this over here. Quote, this is very disturbing. When you thought things could not get worse, well, here it is. So sad for the people of North Carolina. If this is true, holy bucking shit. This is insane.
Okay, guys, we got some new alleged reports coming out of North Carolina and Tennessee. And since the mainstream news is not covering this, we definitely have to go with alleged reports. This is all alleged, but this is new news and it's extremely important, so pay attention. Not only do we have the complete devastation in the homeless issue, people are without homes, they are without power, but now they are getting sick. Apparently, there is a nuclear fuel station about an hour and a half outside of Asheville. Now, originally, they had said that there were training barrels that had got washed away into the river, into the water. However, they are now allegedly stating that these were not training barrels. And it was actually a semi full of nuclear fuel that got buried 10 to 20 feet under the mud. So they have verified that this truck is in the water, in the mud, with all of these barrels of fuel. Now,
kind of like that Broken Arrow over, I think it's Savannah, Georgia, where they dropped a nuke on Georgia and it became irretrievably lost, sinking into the mud. I think it was Savannah, or is it Havana? I can Oh, I can never remember. Sorry about that.
Now, that is not to say that is what is making people sick. However,
Havana,
it
Cuba,
could definitely be contributing
Savannah, Georgia.
to it.
I don't
You've
know.
got sewers that have ruptured. You've got
Jammin' Mammy. We love mammies of all shapes and sizes and flavors. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us over on Rumble. And yeah, oh my God, this is beyond insane. If this is accurate, this is next level. Thanks, Omega.
just dead animals, dead bodies, and everything is contaminated. So allegedly, there is about 60 people up on the mountain right now that are sick with something that they just don't know what they're sick with. A man that brought 10 cadaver dogs to the Carolinas now has 4 dead dogs and 6 actively dying. The horses that were brought out of the river, they were also very sick. And so they started doing blood work on these animals and finding out that they have all kinds of stuff in their blood. They are very sick. So not only are we dealing with complete devastation, now we are dealing with contamination that is making the animals and the people sick, allegedly. So I needed to get this out to you. We need to spread this far and wide. Stay out of the mud. If you can stay out of the mud, stay out of the mud. Stay away from the water. It is contaminated. Yeah, I guess that's it for now, guys. And as I progress with this story, I will update you guys. Stay safe. Godspeed. Talk to you soon.
Nightmare. Total nightmare scenario. This is just complete and utter madness, right, 3PO?
This is madness.
Yep, thought so. Totally insane. Totally insane. Speaking of stealing things, we got that coming up either next or, yeah, this might be it. Wall Street Apes reporting it's still happening. This video was posted less than 24 hours ago. North Carolina resident. We're in Lake Lure again. FEMA is here. They've just gone in and confiscated the store. They're making the people leave. Leave, get their stuff as quickly as they can, or they will take it from them. What the hell is going on here? Arrest all of these fuckers. Fuck FEMA. It was the only line in my song, Censor This, which is just basically a giant list of saying, fuck this, fuck that, that all rhymes together. It was the only one I said 3 times. Fuck FEMA, fuck FEMA, fuck FEMA, fuck Blackwater, now XE, fuck Caesar. Oh, let's check out this clip.
Okay, guys, we're in Lake Lure again. We just delivered some food, and I want to tell you what just happened. FEMA is here. You know that from the other day when I told you that FEMA was here. They have just gone in and confiscated the store that I told you about and showed you pictures of. They are making the people leave.
Sounds
Get
true,
their
Tulip.
stuff as quickly as they can, or they will take it from them. That tent was full just Friday, y'all. Okay, guys.
Absolutely maddening. Just when you think the depravity can't sink any lower. Oh, you will be surprised. It can always go lower, baby. We're not even close to bottoming out yet. Not even close, if you can believe it. Wall Street Apes also reporting Red Cross and local law enforcement tells a Hurricane Helene victim who's a legal gun owner to sleep the fuck outside. Legal gun owner denied shelter at Red Cross. We get up to the shelter and the cops seize the butt of my gun. When I do have my concealed license, tells me I have to sleep the fuck outside. Are you kidding me? This hurricane victim says he's entering the Navy or Marines and this is how he's treated. Is this the America you grow up in? It's not the America we're going to continue living in after November.
So we traveled through Tootie's Creek, finally got rescued, and we get up to the shelter, and the cop sees the butt of my gun when I do have my concealed, and he tells me I have to sleep the fuck outside.
A cop, nonetheless.
When he went back in? Yeah.
What branch you gonna go to?
I'm gonna go either the same as my brother, SEAL team, Navy, or Marines.
Wow.
And he went up to ask
SEAL team, good luck at Buds, brother. Do it up.
for a cot. They was not going to give him a cot. And I told the officers, I said, by God, the boy went and done what you asked of him. You'll give him a cot, or I'll go in this gym and I'll ask everybody in there what they think about it. They told me not to make a scene.
Yeah.
So
you don't have to sleep out by the sign.
Well,
Yep.
I'll come out here with you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they said this is the school zone, so I set my ass right
Oh, so
Right
y'all
now,
didn't
it's
know each
emergency
other?
shelter.
here. No, this is my cousin.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
okay.
cousins. I just had a hip replacement in Walton.
About 4 miles.
Yeah, and crossed the river.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah, don't
you
don't
have-
stray from the trail where there's live bombs left over, Tulip. That's crazy.
house get tore down, or
Oh, mine will probably be condemned.
you think?
If it's next thing, don't just wash it the rest of the way off. Everything I own.
And 4 houses stacked on top of each other right next to us.
I'm sorry.
Good call, Donna. Good call. Jam and Mammy still kicking at Dirk. Didn't take the jib jab. Good to hear. Good to hear. Pure Bloods. All Pure Bloods welcome. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and toiminate the YouTube broadcast while we're still going live over there. All right, guys, time to vacate CommieTube and head on over to Rumble and X. If you can't make it, catch us on the flip side for our Hump Day edition of Common Censored. Sorry to have to ditch you if you can't make it, but we will be back. Until then, let's get ready to rumble!